Inside the Tajikistan Army, a comprehensive look at military assets. The Tajikistan Army is an integral part of its national armed forces. It was established on the basis of the local armed forces and government forces after the disintegration of the Soviet Union. So far, Russia and China have provided most of the weapons and equipment. In recent years, the Tajikistan Army has been quite active and has had many frictions and conflicts with neighboring countries. Now the Army has about 8,000 people, mainly composed of the 1st Motorized Infantry Brigade, the 3rd Motorized Infantry Brigade, the 12th Artillery Brigade and other independent arms. In addition to the regular army, Tajikistan also has a border guard force of 25,000 and a National Guard of 30,000. Tajikistan Army's main battle tank. 30 T-72 Ural, A, AV, B main battle tanks. This level of tanks is the strongest ground unit in Tajikistan. The total number is about 44, mainly inherited by the Soviet Union and supported by Russia, of which the 8B type uses composite armor greatly enhances the tank's protective capabilities. This type of tank has appeared in both tanks and tanks in neighboring Kyrgyzstan, some of which were destroyed by enemy drones during the conflict, and most of them are at the end of their service careers. 44 T-62M per megavolt main battle tanks, mainly for the local garrisons during the Soviet period, among which the M-type was upgraded according to the T-72 tank, equipped with Volma fire control system, KTD-2, KTD-1 laser rangefinder, TSH-SM-41U sight, new commander's field of view, Meteor M1 stabilizer, BV-62 ballistic computer and new R-173 radio station, while strengthening the protection and using a new walking system and engine. Capable of launching gun-launched missiles, most of them are relatively old. There are still about 7 relatively new T-62M, MVs. Armored vehicle. 8 BMP-1 infantry fighting vehicles. In order to allow infantry to keep up with the advanced speed of tanks, the Soviet Union developed and produced BMP-1 infantry fighting vehicles in the last century. The 73mm 2A28 low-pressure smoothbore gun can suppress the enemy's exposed targets at a long distance, but the performance of the smoking device of the vehicle is poor, and long-term combat requires high physical fitness for soldiers. 18 BMP-2 infantry fighting vehicles, as the iconic weapons of the Soviet era, were widely equipped in countries all over the world, and now their upgraded versions are very active on the front line of the Russian-Ukrainian conflict. In 2022, the Ukrainian General Intelligence Agency claimed that Russia had considerable interest in and attempted to purchase UTD-20 engine parts and BMP series armored vehicle ammunition in Tajikistan's warehouses. Wheeled armored vehicle. 18 BTR-80 wheeled armored vehicles. After the disintegration of the Soviet Union, the number of armored vehicles allocated to Tajikistan was not large. Later, due to repeated army battles and armed conflicts with neighboring countries, the number of BTR-80s should be far less than this number. However, the health status of this batch of BTR-80s is much better after appearing in the joint anti-terrorist military exercises in recent years. The 13 BTR-70M wheeled armored vehicles are improved and upgraded based on the BTR-60 petabytes. They have been replaced with more powerful engines and lowered the height of the vehicles, with detachable additional armor. The BTR-70 in Tajikistan is mainly the upgraded M-type from Russia, and the engine and gearbox of the BTR-80 have not been changed. 24 BRDM-2M per Mega Siemens armored reconnaissance vehicles, which are modernized and upgraded versions of the Soviet BRDM-2 armored reconnaissance vehicles, have added bulletproof plates and sighting systems. Russia mainly provided these armored vehicles in 2019 and 2021. The Russian side said the handover of Russian military equipment would help maintain peace and strengthen security in the region. Towed artillery. 30 D-30 per peta-liter 96 towed howitzers, inherited by the Soviet Union and aided by China. The 96 types were improved in the late 1980s with reference to the former Soviet D-30 howitzer and can use the same ammunition as the D-30. The main difference is the painting and the muzzle brake. At present, most of this type of artillery is in a state of decommissioning and storage. China often used it to aid the former Warsaw Pact countries and the Soviet Union. Self-propelled artillery. Two Tu-S1 self-propelled guns, rebuilt from PT-76 water tank chassis. The hull is a ship-shaped steel plate welded fully enclosed structure, and the middle part is divided into front and rear parts by a closed partition. It uses semi-automatic loading and can use common ammunition with the D-30 howitzer. However, once a war breaks out on this scale, it can have an impact on the situation of the war. Bazooka. 15 BM-21 multiple-barrel rocket launchers, a type of short-range rocket launcher developed and produced by the Soviet Union, can hit enemy targets at a distance of 20 kilometers, and a strike can cover an area of 16 hectares, which is equivalent to the area of 25 football fields at present. This type of rocket launcher is already an old product. It belongs to the position of using waste heat. 6 TOS-1A flame-breathing tanks, also known as TOS-1 multiple rocket launchers. The Tajikistan Army has an improved version. The improved version of the launch tube is reduced to 24, arranged in 3 layers, and each layer has 8 launch tubes. The main types of bombs are special incendiary rockets and thermobaric rockets. With its own firepower and firing rate, TOS-1A can cause massive damage to the enemy's forward offensive forces and exposed personnel. Thanks for watching.